No, it is not April's Fool. I'm back on your screens with Joy News Desk. It's the 1st of April 2024. Live from our studios here in Accra, this is Joy News Desk. My name is Sweetie Abochi. Coming up in this hour, 32 schools in 16 regions of Ghana to benefit from first phase of the One Student, One Tablet initiative beginning this week.
And schools in the next coming week is going to 30 schools.
Okay.
32 schools in the 16 regions.
The church not exempted from the impact of the erratic power supply. More as the clergy waits in calling on the government to come clear on the power crisis.
I think the authorities should come out very clear on it. If it is some challenge they have, then they come out with the load shedding formula, schedules for us.
Desist from impounding vehicles that cross red lights or without valid insurance certificates, Attorney General tells Inspector General of Police. All this and more in the hour. My name is Sweetie Abochi and this is Joy News Desk. Stay for details. Let's get into the details. The Minister of Education, Dr. Yao Osei-Educhum, has announced that the first batch of the 450,000 free student tablets fully funded through the Ghana Education Trust Fund will be distributed this week. President Akufo-Addo announced on March 25th the distribution of 1.3 million tablets to public senior high schools and technical and vocational education and training students. Now, according to him, this initiative under the Smart School Project is part of the government's measures to ensure that all sectors of the country are digitalized. Speaking on Joy News' news file on Saturday, March 30th, the Education Minister described how helpful it is for the students.
In the case of the tablet, it's wholly funded by government. No participation from parents or from students. And we have made a budgetary allocation through the GET fund for the first 450,000 that has come out, that has been delivered to us, ready for deployment in our schools. So that
This is what we have on the desk here.
Yeah, this is an example of what they call the schoolmate.
Yes.
Student-mate one.
Student-mate one.
Yeah. So this is what we have here. I think we showed one. Ooh. Okay. Yeah. This is it comes with a keyboard.
All right.
So even though it's a tablet, when you take out the keyboard, it makes it function.
I get it.
Yeah, as a laptop.
So you just fix it here, and then you type from here. But you can also use this.
Yes, right. Itself.
Okay.
And then you have the power bank that comes with it. And there's also an opportunity in case lights go out.
Right. Because that was going to be my next question. For places where there's problem with electricity.
There's a solar panel that allows you to charge it using solar. In the case of this device. So that is in response to the issue of maybe erratic power supplies at certain times.
Is this part of your attempt to do away with fiscal textbooks and so on?
Yes, in fact, the interesting thing is that all high school textbooks, and there's a new curriculum for high school that's coming out. Because of the STEM, there are so many new courses. Manufacturing, for example, manufacturing engineering is a new course. And we have people writing the textbooks now for high school. So every one of these will come up with all the textbooks needed by the particular student. So if you're a general arts student, all the textbooks that you need will be here. And the interesting thing is that it's not going to be a PDF version of the book. It's an ebook. So there are hyperlinks in it. So if it's your history class and you're talking about the Egyptian pyramids, you can hit a link that will give you the video of Egyptian pyramids and some understanding of what it is and what it stands for.
The 450,000 is a little less than 30%. The deployment is such that it is in 3 phases. Dr. Yeweduchum said the student laptops are to be distributed in phases, and the first 45,000 is to be distributed to 32 schools in the 16 regions.
Deployment is such that it's in phases.
So you do it in 3 phases that you cover for this?
Yes,
okay.
But the first phase, which is hitting the regions and the schools in the next coming week, is going to 30 schools.
Okay.
32 schools in the 16 regions. And that one is the first one that is going out. So once you get to the school, there's a dashboard that informs us that the tablets are here. The whole idea is to ensure that you do a phased approach to deployment and don't get the system overwhelmed. And once you get the first 32 schools done, within a week, 2 weeks thereafter, the rest, which is phase 2, also start moving to the schools, so that the teachers are being trained. In fact, some have been trained. The 32 schools, they've all been trained.
Right. And I understand the unit price is about 250 Ghana cedis. So that will bring us to about 50 Ghana.
No, not 50. Not cedis.
Is it dollars?
Yes.
And in that case, the 112, million, all of it together will bring us to 337 million Ghana cedis that you are investing into this. You already have issues with free SHS, and you need to pump money to resolve the teething issues, and you are adding on to that.
You see, the interesting thing about free senior high school, you see, you can have logistical challenges, and that's not a budget issue.
The erratic power supply in the country continues to be a source of worry, and the church has not been left out of the impacts of the outages. Some eminent members of the clergy have been speaking on the matter on The Probe with Emefa Apawu. Listen to the eminent men call on the government to be clear on the real power situation and avoid politicization of the issue.
It's not been very good for us, not just even the churches and activities, but even in our homes and our businesses and our offices. It's not been the best. But we have also not received the best of explanations as to what is happening. And we can't just point to one particular thing that is telling us that this is the situation. And I keep saying, and when I'm asked, I tell them that I think the authorities should come out very clear on it. If it is some challenge they have, then they come out with the load shedding schedules for us. So we know that this is it. At this point, there will be no light. So if I have to get a genset or have to make further arrangements somewhere, then I put in those measures. Rather than say that there's nothing, then you go ahead and all in the middle of an activity, the lights just go off. And as a church, it puts you off. And it takes time to also come back and all of these. And sometimes we should also understand that it is not just for the people gathered in there. These days, because of media, we are live to other people outside and all over. So we are all concerned.
They must come out and really tell us what is happening. They've been giving some reasons here and there. And I think maybe the heat, everybody's using the electricity more than we normally use it. But I think if the way it is going, they better come out and tell us how we should use it, come out with a schedule, so that we may know when it is coming off, when it's coming, the electricity is working, when it's not working, rather than to just leave us, in limbo. In fact, yesterday in the night, where I was supposed to have the evening liturgy, and for us Catholics, the Holy Saturday evening, it is the peak of the whole season. See, that is because when Mary Magdalene and the others went there, Jesus was not there the Sunday morning. So probably for us, it is the evening. In fact, and I had light off. And I said, wow. Unfortunately, where I was, there was no, there was no genset there. But the main parish there was. So quickly, they just went to that, went to it and just put it on. But where I was, it was lighter. But I was lucky. It was just 30 minutes. It was just 30 minutes. So you were lucky. But others may not be so lucky. They should actually come to us and then let us know what's happening. And then the solution to it, as Reverend actually said, it shouldn't be politicized.
I think it's the flip-flopping that is the problem. And that, I think, is a symptom of a bigger problem that we must all be aware of. It looks to me as if, as some people have suggested in the past, that everything in Ghana is now politicized. I'm not aware that there is any country in this world that does not have challenges with utilities. Even the most developed countries can have a problem at some point. These are machines and equipment, and there's wear and tear. Of course, some countries are better off than others.
Yeah.
But the point is, because of the politicization of our problems, we are never able to be straightforward with the citizenry. So I don't think having challenges with electricity supply or power supply itself is the issue. The issue is the way we politicize it. You know, so those in the opposition put pressure on government. Government puts pressure on itself by not coming clean. And this is not an issue for just one regime. It's always been like that.
Now, in a rallying call for the preservation and recognition of traditional religion, traditionalists and worshippers across the nation have united in a demand for a national holiday to honor their faiths. The leaders of this movement, Ngogbea Kofi Davo and Samuel Davo, have passionately spoken to the agency on this matter, urging the government to grant traditional religions the same acknowledgement as Christianity and Islam. The traditionalists have also asked the government to at least help in some development works for the first time since all projects have been funded from proceeds from the shrine. Ivy Setoji visited the shrine and has more in this report.
At the forefront of this campaign is Ngogbea Kofi Davo, a prominent figure in the traditionalist community and a leader at the Afenyo-Markin shrine in Dagbamate. He emphasized the need for equity and religious recognition. He says the traditional worshippers contribute to the rich tapestry of this nation's beliefs, and it is only just that they are granted the same respect and celebration as other religions.
The shrine is our ancestor God from our ancestors. We believe in him. If you are with this shrine, you shouldn't do any bad thing. You should go by the rules. You shouldn't steal. You shouldn't cheat. You have to speak the truth and love another. No stealing in this community. We believe in it. If they can listen to our plea that they should give us one day as holiday for these are our traditional people, like the Muslims and the Christians, who all enjoy, because freedom of association, we think we are being denied from our right. They should at least give us one day as a holiday.
Supporting this call for inclusivity is Samuel Davo, another influential leader and secretary to the Afenyo-Markin shrine. He stressed the cultural significance of traditional religions, highlighting the deep-rooted history and values.
As has been for Christians and Muslims, it is time government set aside a day as a holiday for traditional religion. He said this last year. We can say with reasons that the neglect of traditional religion by the authorities is the cause of the high level of all sorts of crimes and social vices in our dear country.
Nugogba Kofi Davo, again in an interview with the media at the commissioning of a canteen for the school children in Dagbamate, also asked government to help fix the deplorable road from Dagbamate to Akachi, while also asking for the self-funded vocational school yet to be completed to be equipped with the necessary tools for the promotion of technical and vocational education in the area.
The appeals we are making appeal day in, day out, but no response. Even the common road from Akachi to this place, if you travel on it, you see how we are suffering. So we don't know what to do again. If really government want to help somebody, the one who is helping himself should be helped. You see, some people will sit down applying for government and they will build for them. We are doing it ourselves. Rather to help us and do something, they will not do it. So this one, take it up, because we are putting up some building now for hairdressers and these tailors, so that the needy girls will not be going astray. They can go there and learn their trade free. The Shah will sponsor those people. So by next year, we hope we'll finish it. If the government can give us machines and the dryers to put into the room, that one alone, I think if they hear this, they should help us.
Akwatoku Buddhist Shrine is the heart of the village. It is where members go for spiritual and physical healing and to receive protection from evil influences. It has a very active program of Sunday worship, daily pledges and vows. It is celebrated two major festivals at Easter and at the end of October. Traditional drumming and dance are a big part of shrine rituals. Ivy Setoji, 4 News, Dagbamate.
Now, the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Godfred Yeboah-Dame, has advised the Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Ekufu-Dampare, to direct police officers to desist from impounding vehicles whose drivers engage in misdemeanors. According to Mr. Dame, crossing the red light and driving without a valid insurance certificate are offences for which the offending vehicles should not be impounded. My colleague, Mbura Samuel, is here in the studio to give us an update on the issue. What exactly is the status quo on this issue? All right,
so Suti, this letter to the IGP is actually dated 8th of February 2024. And if you look at the letter, meaning there have been correspondence between the IGP and the Attorney General. So this is actually a response to the IGP, and I quote, says, impounding of or prohibition of the use of motor vehicles for minor violations of road traffic regulation. So the Attorney General is making specific reference to the Road Traffic Regulation Act 2012, Act the LI 2180, where he's raising concerns about police officers arresting people who jump traffic light, people driving on the wrong side of the road, parking at unauthorized areas, where he's raising concerns. The Attorney General is doing this, according to him, on the back of complaints by some citizens and also lawyers about some of these, what he calls the minor offenses. He thinks that the continuous arrest of people or offenders of these cases could land the Ghana Police Service in lawsuit, or the state in which the Attorney General will have to defend. So in essence, the Attorney General is advising the Ghana Police Service that you have to desist from some of these minor acts because, one, there are no criminal activities that you can take the person on, impound the person's vehicle, arrest, and then do whatever you want to do. If not, the person can take you to court. So he is trying to avoid future lawsuits against the state and also expenses that the state will be incurring to defend such cases in court. The ultimate one is to avoid judgment debt.
Yeah.
We know that this is not the first time this thing is coming up, but
and not the first time he's talking about judgment debt and the money his office has saved the country.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he's actually concerned about the continuous impounding and arresting of motor riders or motor vehicle users on the roads for what he describes as minor offense, because he feels that if you jump the traffic, it's not any criminal offense that they have to arrest, impound your vehicle, take you to a police station, and then demand for your further particulars and all that. So that's generally the summary of the Attorney General's advice to the Ghana police.
Did he say what should be done instead to these offenders?
We know they have been proposals for spot fines.
Okay.
So if you are talking about spot fines here, that now stirs the conversation for, whether we should go in for the spot fines, amend so that if you offend, like it is done in advanced countries, then you are to pay on the spot. They will calculate the penalty units for you to pay. All these penalty units are in the Road Traffic Acts and regulations that the police uses to, punish offenders. So that now stirs the conversation as to whether there should be an amendment for spot fines and well prescribed for the police to go by. We know the Ghana Police Service is already in the pipeline, the MTTD collaborating with the National Road Safety Authority. I remember on our Drive Safe campaign, there was that engagement in Accra, and subsequently they are piloting in other parts of the country where they have what they call the Police Invisible Eye is Watching. That particular project seeks to synchronize data from the MTTD, the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority, the National Road Safety Authority. So your vehicle details will be at a centralized server with the Drivers and Licensing Authority. So if you skip traffic light, the monitoring system, they actually have a traffic tech.
Yeah.
The camera will capture your details, send it to a centralized server, then your offense will be communicated to you. You have some specific days to pay. If you don't pay, then the law comes after you. So I'm sure with this thing coming up, it will definitely expedite action on this project that the Ghana Police Service is doing, spearheaded by the MTTD, where they say the police invisible eye is watching.
Right, thank you so much. But let's get on the phone now, on Zoom instead, and speak to a private legal practitioner, Martin Kwebu. Mr. Kwebu, thank you for joining us. This order from the Attorney General in his quest to save the country judgment debt, is it in order?
Absolutely, sweetie. Absolutely. It's about the best decision the Attorney General is taking in recent times. Yesterday on another platform, I was saying these are the kind of initiatives and decisions that are expected from him. Not the kind in the Honorable Nelson Dafiamepo case, the case about the Speaker stopping the vetting of the approval of the ministers in Parliament. We don't want that kind of politics. This one is what the Attorney General should be doing. This is what shows that he's in office for the people of Ghana. It's a brilliant move. You know, sweetie, your FM had posted programs on this particular matter. I was part of the panelists. We made it clear that our interpretation of the LI 2180 doesn't say that the police should impound every vehicle once there's a traffic offense. No. So apart from the cameras that the police have at certain vantage or certain strategic traffic lights, if a policeman arrests a person for jumping the red light or driving without license, you can video the vehicle, video the person, and take any other evidence. Then, when the police takes the person through the processes, that's caution statement, etc., then you can let the suspect or accused person go with his vehicle. You don't need to impound it. Sweetie, the truth of the matter is that they often impound the vehicle so that they can use it to extort money from us. That is the modus operandi. Most of it, it's to make sure that eventually you pay money. It doesn't matter, even if you are taken to court and convicted, you still will have to pay money before you get your car back. So this move, if properly implemented, is going to make sure that we'll have better rule of law. I'm sure Ghana will do better. Yesterday, I was also referring to the fact that in terms of rule of law, for the past 7 years, we've not been doing well on the democracy index. Our performance has been declining. And the police is a very huge part of the bribery and corruption story of Ghana. So if this particular measure is implemented well, the police will score very high marks, and eventually that will be Ghana doing better.
Well, wouldn't you say that this, if we start implementing this and letting these, I like to call them recalcitrant drivers go, it would rather open the floodgates for more people to just jump the lights? Because, I mean, the worst you would do is to pay a fine.
Yes, but that is the law. You see, it's a democracy. It's a democracy. What we've agreed is that the punishment in the law usually is payment of a fine and then imprisonment up to 3 months. So in law, these are minor offenses. We can't, sweetie, compare this kind of offense to, let's say, robbery or stealing 1 million Ghana, etc. No. In law, we've categorized them. These are minor offenses. And natural fact, the Commonwealth Human Rights Initiative is also working on this, that we should stop custodial sentences for such minor offenses. So it's just natural that as we are developing, the key point I'm making here is that it's a necessary part of our movement towards development. This, because the police have been oppressing us, extorting money from us. So when you stop it, it means that we become a better people. Our democracy is better. We had to do that. We can't continue like that. That we allow police to use this excuse, oh, we are impounding it to go and show it as an exhibit in court. We are impounding the vehicle so that when the case gets to court, we can show the judge that here's the exhibit. This is evidence that we arrested the person. As the Attorney General rightfully noted in the letter, that is not necessary. Take a video of it. Get your colleague, police officers or policemen to be witnesses. Then you let the vehicle go. We are not saying that people should not be prosecuted. That is not what the Attorney General is saying. The Attorney General is saying that impounding the vehicle, so you seize the vehicle, keep it at the police station, then the vehicle is at the mercy of the weather. Sometimes parts get stolen from the vehicle, and these police are not in a position to pay back the parts. Can't give you money to go and buy to fix those parts, etc. So this is a huge step forward. So I pray
Mr. Kwebu, what happens then? Mr. Kwebu, are you still with me?
Yeah.
So what happens if the IGP decides not to go follow in this directive, this advice? Because as we speak, the police still arrest people who cross the red light and they impound vehicles. So if the IGP decides that he's going to ignore this order, what happens then?
Now, in a constitutional democracy such as ours, the IG doesn't have space to ignore this order. The Attorney General is senior to the IG when it comes to law enforcement. In our constitution, the only person that the law knows as responsible for prosecution of cases is the Attorney General or people he delegates. So when it comes to this matter, Godfrey Dami is the boss. And I don't think Dr. Kufu-Dampare will lightly ignore the Attorney General, his boss, when it comes to law enforcement. What is in the domain of the IG is the investigations, right? But remember that as you investigate, you collaborate with the chief law enforcer. The police go to court to prosecute, but it's because the Attorney General doesn't have enough lawyers. So the Attorney General is asked the police to help. So because they've been helping the AG, I don't see how Dr. Dampare will say, no, boss, I won't do it. No, it will bring chaos.
I like that you said the police is helping the Attorney General. So in the case of trying to reduce the amount of court cases going forward, do you think we need a special sort of court to deal with traffic issues? Otherwise, we are just increasing the number of cases in the courts, which is also increasing the job of the Attorney General.
Absolutely, yeah. We need more. As for courts, yes, it's been a matter that the Chief Justice is addressing. It didn't start with this Chief Justice. Previous Chief Justice to have tried. We need to increase the numbers, just as we also need to increase the number of lawyers, and so that a point will come. The prosecutions that the police have been doing to help the Attorney General will take the police off those cases so that the police will remain with detection of crime and investigations, those things. because often there's a lot of conflict of interest when you ask a policeman to investigate and then the same police go to court to prosecute. There are a number of cases where you see conflict of interest. The police will bury evidence that should exculpate the accused, etc. That's a debate for another day. But for now, we agree that yes, court numbers should be increased. The number of lawyers also, especially because as you increase the number of courts, you need lawyers to be there. And I know the General Legal Council, the Board of Legal Education, they've been increasing the number of lawyers that are graduating for the past 3 years. And I hope that will continue. So gradually, we should get better because it's very disturbing that for the past 7 years on democracy, we've been declining, just like the way we've been stagnant on corruption for 4 years at 43, which is the worst mark in the previous JM administration. So this one will help to improve our marks.
Right.
The age is down well.
Mr. Kwebu, is this, just to be clear, is this an advice or is it an order?
In practice, you see, because we want to smoothen their relations, let's slow down on it. I'm sure IGP Dampare knows what it means because the Attorney General is in charge.
Okay.
And yes,
right.
Yes.
So
I think it will be done.
How about sensitizing the public? Because most people do not know that you're not even supposed to pay monies and try to bribe your way out when you cross the traffic light. How do we ensure that the citizenry are well informed that these are this is what the law is saying?
Very good. So, Sweetie, what we should be doing is that for the rest of this week, let's keep repeating this story. Repeat it 1,000 times. Then Mbura and Co. go out to the driving public, okay, motorists, interview them. Have you heard about the Attorney General's letter to IGP Dampare, etc.? Let's increase the education because it's all about education. It's when people are educated about their rights that they can stand up and fight.
Well, thank you so much, Martin Kwebu, for shedding light on this issue for us. Martin Kwebu is a legal practitioner, and my colleague from the newsroom, Samuel Mbura, also joined us, bringing us a statement from the Attorney General. Right, moving on. The Paramount Chief of Bato Traditional Area and Vice President of the Volta Region House of Chiefs says that victims of the flooding incident caused by the spillage of the Kosomo Dam and the Kpong dams are yet to recover from the effects. Togwega Patamia Jekle, the 7th, said the magnitude of the devastation caused in 32 communities in his area was so huge it would take some time and great effort to restore normalcy. He said this when the chiefs and people of the Klefe traditional area donated some relief items to victims in the Mefe and Bato traditional areas.
The Paramount Chief of the Klefe traditional area, Togbe Koku Jaga the 11th, led a delegation to support residents who were affected by the spillage of the Akusumbo and Kpong dams. They presented bags of cereals, thrift, water, among others. The Mankalalu of Mefe traditional area, Togbe Kosinego the 6th, blamed the authorities for the devastation caused.
June ojewe no abuagbo ka hie le vavakwa na hie na wa no juju ve ava trole amuome alo apuome sega ke otu agbo va do ko va le vovo be agbo la va mui e ka fi over da selection ova nya tefe no mi ameyo mi potefe powe mi von ale gbegbe mi bube e se la va cho mi okata akojwe ta ke mawo didi mi te de mi vi okata mi ameshisho mi do okata le shieme emi ko va ekpoji.
The Paramount Chief of Bato Traditional Area, Togbegan Patamia Jekale the 7th, said that victims in his area are yet to recover from the effects of the flood.
If I tell you that Bato suffered a great deal, you may not believe it. Mr. Petigo, total number of communities affected, was it not 32? 32. Our people have not fully recovered from the effect of the flooding.
Togbe Koku Jaga the 11th lamented the unfortunate incident of the flooding and advised VRA to engineer mechanisms to better manage spillage of the Akosombo and Kpo dams in the future.
Dam menye chokeva yo tu anbo experience melosio. Tane mi le nu le jikpo peblaton ko ye. Anu ke jo ko metonna minya nu ke tututu ke jota obazuleo. E ya meto be do da si onyu. Be no pochi eji. Nenu ibe ku mega jo. Ko gale jo meje le fetu ko. Enya yi dan vire. Ta onya be chele yoyo. Da nu sueto kwa wa tan kwa dojipo na me wa. E ya nyebe efi he no ke gbanatui. Ape o le be no ba puchi e fete sirika. No na minya. Be mi ato aso no chome.
Fred Kwame Asari, Joy News, Mepe.
In other stories, Commissioner General of the Ghana Boundary Commission, Major General Emmanuel Kutia, says the Commission has now introduced intermediary pillars in its boundary reaffirmation processes to make it easier for border communities to identify the international boundary lines. Speaking during a visit by a 36-member delegation from the Command and Staff College of Tanzania to the Commission, he said the Commission's work is helping to ensure peaceful coexistence between Ghana and her neighbors.
We have come to realize that, we and our neighbors have come to realize that we have a big challenge so far as that aspect is concerned, and can easily lead to conflict between local communities living along the borders because of some of these issues. So what we have decided to do is to introduce what we call intermediary boundary pillars. These intermediary pillars would then shorten the distances from the main pillars. So in between two main pillars, there will be intermediate pillars. So that, and in line with that, we're also doing this, constructing these intermediate pillars alongside sensitization of the community, so that they will know that we are coming out of new boundary pillars, main pillars, and intermediate pillars, so that when you have a doubt, you can easily have a reference point by which you can use to determine where the boundary line is, so it doesn't create problems. Are you following what I'm saying? Because we have so many issues where just slight misunderstanding between the boundary line, community farms, people start some few skirmishes around. But in order to prevent it, that is what we're doing. Additionally, various communities or districts along the boundary lines have what we call border security committees, and they complement our efforts in those areas to help resolve those issues. And it promotes peace and security. So they hold regular meetings with their counterparts at the other side. We also hold meetings at the national level for our counterparts, so that when there are issues, they are flushed out and we discuss it and resolve it immediately.
Now, the 36-member delegation from the Command and Staff College of Tanzania comprised 9 directing staff, 27 course participants, who are on a study visit to Ghana. The theme for the visit is Regional Bloc's Strategies in Addressing Security Challenges in Africa. Commandant of the Command and Staff College, Brigadier General Stephen Mkadi, lauded the work of the Ghana Boundary Commission and urged other boundary commissions in Africa to emulate it.
It's about the regional bloc's strategies in addressing security challenges in Africa. And you can see, you cannot talk of Pan-Africanism concept today if you don't mention Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Julius Nyerere, but the likes of Jomo Kenyatta, okay, Robert Mugabe, Mandela, KK, Zambia, and the likes. You see now, that's why we are here. So you can see the strategic partnership and relationship between Tanzania and Ghana. So we are here so that our students can learn. But again, us in the armed forces, we are ahead. This is part of defense diplomacy. So we bring in Ghana a lot of experiences, but also we have come to learn a lot of experiences in different dimensions. It's not only on the aspect of defense and security, but it goes across the board, okay? Issues to do with international politics, okay? Issues to do with economics, issues to do with the environment, and all these, they're part and parcel of the aspect of human security.
Time now for us to take a quick break. When we return, the news continues. Stay with me. Welcome back to the Joy News Desk with me, Sweetie Abochi. Now let me take you next to Kwewu, where the 2024 Paragliding Easter Festival has already taken flight. This annual event has long been a spectacle, drawing adventurers from all around the globe. However, this year's festival holds a special significance as a young indigene takes to the skies for the very first time as a solo pilot, alongside an international gathering of thrill seekers. My colleague Jacqueline Ansomayebua has more in this report.
For years, the Paragliding Easter Festival in Kwewu has captivated the hearts of adventurers, but this year marks a milestone in its history. Among the daring pilots soaring through the skies is Isaac Mensah, a 21-year-old from Kwewu, making his debut flying solo.
I'm feeling very excited and very happy right now. Yeah, it was really good here. And then indeed, I was very scared at the moment, but then the moment I took off, everything was very slow. And then, I'm really happy. I'm very, very excited. I'm wishing to do it again and many, many, many more.
Isaac's journey from the hills of Kwewu to the clouds above is a testament to the spirit of determination and passion that defines this festival.
Yeah, I have been a pilot assistant since 2010 up to date.
Wow, that's a long time. That's like 14 years.
Yeah.
And how did you always wanted to do this?
Yeah, sure. I always wanted to do that, so I keep on pushing much pressure and then keeping training, keeping updates with them, learning much, and then going to the beach, doing inflation and stuff. It's a lot.
You're the first indigene from here because we've never had anyone coming from Kwewu to be a pilot. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I feel very proud because this is my home, and then I really wanted to, put it up so that people will go and believe that, yeah, we can make it, because a lot of people used to say Ghanaians couldn't make it.
From distant lands across the globe, thrill seekers have also converged in Kwewu to experience the thrill of paragliding. Voices from different countries share their reasons for traveling thousands of miles for this unique experience.
I feel good. I'm very glad to fly. Yes, it's the first time for me.
Okay, how are you feeling about that?
Excited.
You're not scared at all?
No, not at all.
Some of us are scared, like for the height.
No, not at all.
Okay, but this is your first time in Africa?
Yes.
And Ghana, what made you choose Ghana?
Because I have a son-in-law, and he wanted to show us the land and the country and the family. Yes.
But so far, you've been here for a couple of hours. How do you see the place?
The place is very nice. The sun is shining. The weather is good, and I feel good. But we didn't see a lot of Ghana right now.
Oh, okay, but are you expecting to see other places before you leave?
Yes.
I'm excited. It looks fun.
It looks fine.
Yeah.
You're not scared of it?
No, I'm not. Great scenery, I guess, and I don't know, a nice view. The nature is amazing. So green, so windy. The weather is super nice. Yeah.
Are you coming back next year for the Easter?
Time now for another quick break. When we return, there's business news.
A great morning to you. Warm welcome to business here on Joy News Desk with me, Pius Kojo Baka. Managing Director of the Ghana Stock Exchange, Abinamwa, is projecting a nominal impact of the 2024 election on activities of the Ghana Stock Exchange. According to her, free, fair and peaceful election is a conduit for sustainable development of the economy.
We are hopeful, like all Ghanaians, that our record of having a peaceful, free and fair election will continue. And so we call on all of us, we are all patriotic citizens, that we all work together, our political parties, nationals, all of us here, ensure that we get free, fair, and peaceful elections. We are going on the 100% assumption that that's what happens. And if that's what happens, we expect almost no impact in terms of activity on the market. We will all keep our jobs. Our companies will continue to produce. Our banks will operate. Our telecom sector will operate. People will be making calls. And the companies listed on the exchange will continue to meet their obligations, and investors would invest. And so in terms of the elections themselves, I think as we've seen in 2016, in the year 2012, and all the other election cycles, we have not seen any negative impact just because there's an election in Ghana, and we expect that to continue this year.
Founder of the Design and Technology Institute, Constance Swanika, is calling on the private sector to collaborate with academia in order to nurture young people to be ready and contribute to the growth of the private sector. According to her, this collaboration would provide students with opportunities that could help them acquire practical skills and easily be employable. She spoke to Joy Business at a stakeholders meeting.
The Design and Technology Institute stakeholder meeting was aimed at showcasing the importance of industry and academia cooperation in driving innovation and growth. The institute, which specializes in training students in precision welding and fabrication, design innovation and entrepreneurship, has been in existence for over 4 years. According to the founder of the institute, Constance Swanika, collaboration between industry and academia will further develop the skills of young graduates.
I think what we need is to deepen industry stakeholder engagement. I've walked a very painful journey birthing this. Currently, most of our collaborators and funders and partners are all from overseas. The question they ask, what about local partnerships? And I think that it's a shame that as a Ghanaian, if you've seen that this is possible, the least that we can do as citizens, being good citizens, that sometimes when you're in private sector, we expect that, the government will do everything. But visionary projects actually would come from the private sector. And so I would hope that with what we've been able to achieve on our own, it'll be easier for us to really begin to engage some of the stakeholders who should now come on board.
Pro-Vice Chancellor of the Ho Technical University, Dr. Christopher Mensah, urged businesses to invest their resources into the training of skilled labor force for the country.
At school, we may not have the updated probably softwares, the current ones.
Right.
We will not be able to provide all those resources. The workplace will have the modern equipment, updated ones. By accepting our students on internship, then the students are exposed to such equipment. So our role is supposed to be complementary.
Okay.
Whilst building the critical thinking, the communication skills, and other attitudes of our students, then when it comes to some aspect of their learning, industry will play a role in completing the cycle of the training of our students.
The meeting was themed Redefining Academia and Industry Collaboration as a driver in building robust TVET systems.
And that's it for business. Back to you, sweetie.
Daryl, how are you celebrating your Easter?
Pious it is.
Pious. Has anyone pranked? That was your April Fool's.
Got me right there.
Well, that's how we're wrapping up for Joy News Desk. I hope you've enjoyed your Easter. Please do enjoy the rest of your morning. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com. My name is Sweetie Abochi. Have a good morning.